Hey, David.
This is Terrifyingly Beautiful.
Sure is.
I think it's like episode 100 something, maybe?
No, I think you counted wrong.
Like 8 or 9,
dog
maybe.
years, maybe.
How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm excited for today. We have a special guest on the podcast.
We do. I'm so excited about this.
I know. Jessica Kirson, comedian. She is
extraordinaire.
Amazing. Yes, she's so funny. I've had the privilege of seeing her on a few Atlantis gay cruises.
Oh, okay.
And she is one of the funniest people I've ever seen. So,
well, I was not as familiar. So on YouTube, her YouTube channel is hilarious. The Jessie K Show.
I cannot wait to check that out.
It is so funny. So, super excited to have her on.
Yeah, she's going to talk about, the same things we do because she's super anxious as well.
One of us.
Yeah, she's one of us.
Her whole tour right now is on fear and anxiety, right?
Yeah, if you go to her webpage, it says, I'm filled with fear. Which,
love it.
Yeah, that could have been a good name for this.
Totally
too.
get that, yeah.
So, a few things housekeeping first. If you wanted to go to our website, it's www. That's how our website starts now. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that.
It stands for World Wide Web.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Learn something new. It's great.
Terrifyinglybeautiful.com.
We also on social media, at TerrifyinglyB on Instagram and Twitter.
Sure are.
And you can always reach us at our email.
Yes, terrifyinglybeautiful@gmail.com. Oh, that was good. I feel like we need a chime at the end of that.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Great. So, those of you who have been listening from the beginning know that we typically chat about the shit that stressed us out this week.
Bitch and moan, mostly.
And Kevin and I, before we went on air, we're talking about some of this stuff and about a very big list, but we'll try to narrow it down just a handful of topics.
Can I go first this week?
Of course you can.
All right. So this one just happened to me yesterday, and this will set me into a frenzy immediately. It's when I love to listen to music when I drive in the car. Okay, so it calms me down. I don't care if people see me singing. That doesn't bother me.
Or podcasts.
Or podcasts. It used to bother me, if I'd be, belting out, a big Elphaba number from Wicked, and someone would look over and, see me do it, and I'd be like, oh, I got to stop.
Yeah, he's just not...
Yeah. Not anymore. Now it's full performance mode. So this is when you're listening to a song, and there's a police siren in it. Immediately, I
pull the car over,
oh, yeah. I'm OJ in the White Bronco at this point, and so it was the song. It was an Indigo Girls song
with a police siren.
Yeah, that song that River said na na na.
Okay, yeah.
There's a police siren in the middle of it. My heart rate goes up, my palms get all sweaty, and I look around for where the police are.
So that actually has happened to me where I'm listening to a song, even on the radio, and it's a police siren, and you're kind of looking around your rearview mirror. You're like, what do I do? So that panic that it kind of hits you when you hear the siren, what do you do?
Yeah, why do they put them in songs?
But I always forget the rule around that, right? So if I'm in the middle lane and there's a light behind me,
you go all the way to the right immediately.
You just stop the car and have them go around you. I totally lose track of what the etiquette is around that stuff.
I think you can't just stop on the highway. You have to inch your way over, but I don't know.
And sometimes they're going so fast, you have no reaction time. It's that better be an emergency.
I know. It's now you're speeding, officer, and putting other lives in danger.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
There's been at least a handful of times in the last couple of months where I've seen a police car whizzing by me so fast, it startles you. What do I do? Oh, my God.
I tried to think of other songs that had sirens, and, I know there's a lot of, rap songs that have it, but, that's not my favorite genre. I do like some rap, but the only other one I could come up with was Rihanna's Shut Up and Drive has a siren in it.
Okay.
And the Pussycat Dolls When I Grow Up starts with a siren, and it also makes people realize I have the worst taste in music.
Yeah, why would you have those songs on your radio?
Because I'm a 15-year-old girl inside.
I know you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was mine. Yeah.
I could identify with that. That would stress me out too. Not really knowing where the siren's coming from, and again, my personal anxiety around this, not really understanding what to do with your car once you see the sirens. But
I wonder, what did I do? What have I done? I must have done something.
Have you been pulled over recently at all? No?
No, I've only ever been pulled over once in my life.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I've been pulled over, when I was younger, obviously. I was sort of a speed demon. I got pulled over like 3 or 4 times in a 5-year period. My insurance rate was so high.
I'm a model citizen.
But I have not been pulled over. The last time I got pulled over, when I was driving was probably 2009. It's almost 8 years now.
That's pretty good. I feel like your insurance should go down by now. It's 7 years things happen, right? I don't know.
Is it 7 years? Oh yeah, my insurance has been kind of low. I mean, I'm at my age now, but
so
I told you when I got pulled over in New Hampshire, right?
No,
I was not the one driving. I got pulled over with a friend of mine, his brother, and his brother had this sort of mysterious friend with him.
Oh boy.
And we were going from our campsite to a swimming hole. And
swimming hole? There's no G on the end of that. This
swimming
is
hole. Yeah. Oh gosh. And I'm all amped up because I'm terrified of getting like fleshing and bacteria in a pond.
That's how you get it.
Yeah. So we get pulled over. It was like 3 younger guys and this, and me. So that we look kind of suspicious to the police officer. So he pulls us over and he makes us get out of the car. So already I'm like getting sweaty. We didn't do anything wrong, but I'm getting sweaty and I have like that guilty look on my face.
You were hoping that this is how like a porn star.
I have like no poker face at all. So here we are on the side of this highway in New Hampshire, lined up like criminals, and no one had a license except me.
Oh no.
So I'm like, oh boy. And so he goes to each of us. It was like a SNL skit. He's like, Is there anything in the car that I need to know about before I go into the car? And he goes to my friend. My friend's like, nope. He shakes his head, no. Goes to the brother, nope. He goes to the friend, nope. Goes to me, like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm nervous. And so he goes back to the friend. The friend, I swear to you, Kevin, the friend says, officer, I know when you go into the trunk and you pull up my bag, it's going to look like black Mexican heroin, but it's actually just regular heroin. Kevin, when I tell you, I passed out and I tumbled down the embankment into the bushes because I thought he was being honest. He was joking. He was totally joking. He was trying to.
That's not you don't do that with
Kevin,
cops. They don't have a sense
literally lost all the blood rush out of my head. I passed out, and the cop had to go down the ravine and get me.
They let you go? Maybe you disarmed the situation.
He did let us go. He was not happy about the whole heroin comment, but he just kind of gave us a lecture about driving wild and being careful and stuff. He's actually pretty cool.
You're like one of those goats that when you scare them, they just faint. As like a defense mechanism.
And so my friend tells that story all the time about like the most embarrassing moment he's ever had because he's like, oh my God, David, pull it together, passing out on the side of the road. The cop had to dig me out of the bushes. I was like, oh my God. Anyways.
Well, now we got to hear what stressed you out this week. Now that story has me all stressed out.
So my story, what stressed me out is, as you know, I am married to an extrovert's extrovert, right?
Yes.
And he's
probably amazing, though.
He's a sweetheart. I love him. And I shouldn't complain about his extrovertedness because I
will
benefit
talk
from it.
to every person ever.
Yeah.
Unlike I love me, that. I'm jealous of that.
Oh, so I kind of am sometimes, but it's just not how I'm designed, right? So I'm not shy at all. I mean, you know me, I'm not shy.
No.
But I'm an introvert. And so
what did he do?
It's this part of my anxiety and part of my frustration is that it's this constant battle between trying to get him to understand the difference between extroversion and introversion. He thinks that introverts are just sort of lazy extroverts.
Oh, no, it's a thing.
It's how I charge my batteries, right? So I like to be alone, and I could go through a whole day without talking to somebody, and I could be pretty happy about that.
Oh yeah.
I just need time for myself, right?
It's whatever you need.
He doesn't like silence, and so we were at dinner. This was probably a couple nights ago, and it was a very quiet restaurant, a little pizza place, and he just had to start a conversation with the couple next to us. And within 5 minutes, we were talking about their children, and then the wife whips out the baby pictures, and then Pete's like nudging me saying, pay attention, add to the conversation. And I was like, I just want to have my glass of wine and not talk to anybody.
There is a fine line. But you can meet some amazing people that way.
I mean, I'm not complaining about it. I can't help the way I'm designed. I'm an introvert, and I want to be alone sometimes. And I'm.
Oh, I will. So when we go out to dinner with you guys, and Pete always asks the waiter's name, I love that he does that because it makes the waiter feel a more personal connection than just bringing you food and like cleaning up your shit. But in my head, I'm like, I'd just rather they just be a nameless like robot person who waits on me, because then I'm worried that like I'm gonna do something wrong and they're not gonna like me.
Oh, I haven't really thought about that.
I love that he does that, but
he's
never
super friendly.
do that.
He's super friendly. Well, I mean, there's a vested interest in actually making those connections because we go out to eat every night of the week, right? So we kind of develop close long-term relationships with our waitstaff and our bartenders. But have you ever worn headphones when you go out to eat by yourself when you're on the road?
I don't even wear headphones on a plane. I need to know what's going on me at all times. I don't like headphones. I really don't.
Oh, wow. Okay, interesting.
I need to feel aware of my surroundings so I can hear, like, there are fire on the wings. That way I know.
You would smell the smoke, I think.
Well, maybe. Not if it's outside.
You don't think someone's going to nudge you and say, hey, the plane's crashing. You might want to, like, brace yourself.
I don't know. Usually I give people a really mean look to let them know not to engage me on the planes.
That's why you wear headphones. They don't engage you.
Yeah, I have worn them fake, like, without any music playing, so that, like, there'll be, like, a lady next to me who clearly wants to talk to me.
I've done that before, too.
Just pop those puppies in.
Like, stay away.
It doesn't always work. Sometimes they'll talk to you through your fake music.
I actually had speaking about plane rides, I know that's not the topic, but I had a rather harrowing plane ride coming back from...
plane ride?
No, not heroin. Yeah, that's a whole different story, right? So I had a nerve-wracking plane ride coming back from Evansville, Indiana last week for work. It was one of those little puddle jumpers, like little CRJs. And there was major turbulence. And I'm not that afraid anymore of flying, but I was convinced that it was going to be the last plane ride I ever took.
Oh, jeez.
I was like, trying to think
if you do die in the middle of this podcast, it will probably become more popular. I could do like a really sad episode where
that's the second time you wish my death to get more listeners. Oh, my God.
I'm saying, like, I'm trying to, polish a turd, put something, a nice spin on a terrible thing. Not your life as a turd.
Oh my God!
No, I'm saying
you equate my life to a polished turd.
I'm trying to make a bad situation good. So yes, your death will be super good for ratings.
Okay.
I'll turn it into this big expose, basically saying like we predicted this with our musings.
No, you can't go on without me.
Yeah, it's true. You know who else we can't go on with? I think it's a good time to bring Jessica on.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right.
We're going to get Jessica on the line, and we will be right back. David, you know what stresses me out?
I can only imagine.
Well, this time it's skincare and beauty products.
Don't even get me started on that.
There's like so many of them and you never know what's good. So I found this amazing website. It's called 1ambeauty.com.
I know them.
You have?
Yeah, of course.
So it's an amazing... They have over 1,000 products on there and it's all good stuff.
And they have skincare, hair care, accessories.
I know. I can think of like 1,000 things that I would use on you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Funny.
But I just wanted to tell you, they are offering Terrifyingly Beautiful listeners a 25% off discount.
What?
Yeah, it's so easy. You have to go to 1ambeauty.com and use the promo code BEAUTIFUL.
That's super generous.
I know, right?
I'm logging in right now.
Yeah, so go get beautiful.
I will.
Just like try. Bye. All right, so we have Miss Jessica Kirson on the line. Hi, Jessica.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Really good.
Doing so good. And again, thank you so much for agreeing to do this. I've had the pleasure of seeing you a couple of times on Atlantis Cruises, and you've been my favorite comedian on there. So, and I know that a big part of your act is about anxiety, right?
And fear, yeah.
Yeah, it always comes out during my act, and I've been more and more I've been sharing that more and more on stage, and it's amazing how many people contact me after the show or through email or messages and just say how they can relate, and it helps them to hear me talk about it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Similar reaction to the podcast as well, because Kevin and I we talk about all the shit that makes us anxious and terrifies us, but we do it in a very funny way, and the reaction's been pretty cool, so I'm glad to hear that as well.
Yeah,
awesome.
We're all secretly nuts,
awesome.
Right?
That's right. So, Jessica, so usually in the podcast, we talk about, a topic that either creates a high degree of anxiety for us, and we share some personal stories in a very funny way, or something that scares us. So I wasn't sure if you had a topic, but, if not, we have something that we'd love to talk about with you, since you're an entertainer and a comedian.
Yeah, talk to me about whatever you want.
Yeah.
So here's what we kind of wanted to get your perspective on. And we've kind of faced this here a little bit, which is the fear of offending someone. So I'm sure as a comedian, that's something that comes into your profession a lot. But to me, I'm always afraid of it, but I don't really give that much of a fuck. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I totally get it. When I was starting out for years, I was very concerned about what people thought, and I wanted to please everyone. And it really affected my art because there were things that I didn't say or that I did say, that I just didn't feel like they were real, or I wasn't being totally true to myself.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I don't care anymore. Because really, unless I'm totally safe constantly with everything I say, I am going to offend people no matter what. So,
right.
And people get offended by things even when they're not offensive.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'll say something and people go, oh, and I'm like, I don't even understand that reaction because what I just said was not offensive at all. And it's actually the thing that annoys me the most, I think. It annoys most comics the most is that, that sound in the audience.
Right.
We always talk about that because it's just, a lot of times it's for no reason. It's ridiculous. And people are just being way too sensitive.
Yeah, everything's offensive to somebody, right? I mean, but I look at it as a way of, if I've offended somebody by something that I said without ill intention, you're not I don't want you as part of my circle.
Exactly.
I think
that's
it's a good,
right.
Yeah, a good
that's
way to
I feel too.
Weed people out.
And isn't comedy? I mean, so comedy for me, and I think about the comedians I have been inspired by when I was growing up. George Carlin, Eddie Murphy. I mean, the reason I liked them is because they were offensive, right? So, in comedy was always, maybe you feel differently, Jessica. I'd love to get your perspective, but comedy was always the untouchable area, and that they were allowed to say things that we all had in the back of our head, but we're too afraid to say, right? And I get really freaked out by this sort of social movement to kind of quiet people's voices, and I just don't know if that comes up in the work you do, if you feel the same way, or if you get any kind of like negative reaction to your comedy shows.
Well, first of all, they're never going to be able to quiet any of us. If anything, if they try to tell us to stop or try to silence us, we're going to be louder and more offensive. So,
yeah, right on.
And any working comic would say that to you, because that's why we do it, is so that we can be free to say whatever we want.
Exactly.
I mean, I've been, there was a long time where I was doing these shows where they paid really well, but I had to watch everything I said and be careful and be safe. And I can't do it anymore. It's just it's not real. And it feels like I'm completely just selling out and I don't want to do it. I mean, yes, there are people, the most reaction I get is when I talk about Trump or when I talk about like when Kim Davis wouldn't marry people, I did impressions of her. It was the most reaction I ever got. Just tons of people. I mean, thousands of people loved it and laughed, but tons of people who sent me Bible verses and, crazy. And a lot of those religious people were like, I hope you die. I hope you, they're just, it's incredible. The response.
They found offense over a word that you said, so they want you to die, and that's not offensive.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just such hypocrites. It's incredible.
So
normally it's just about specific specific subjects that get that kind of reaction.
Interesting. So my partner, now 22 years partner, Pete, his mother has now passed away, but she was super, super, super sensitive about using expressions like Jesus Christ or oh my God. She thought oh my God was offensive. And I would be so nervous around her that I say oh my God like every other sentence, right? So and I just thought to myself like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. And trying to tiptoe around it's exhausting.
Yeah.
But
I know.
I think everything has to come with an intent, right? So if you go out and intentionally try to be mean to somebody, then that's going to be offensive inherently. But if you're doing a comedy show, which your motives and your intent is to make people laugh, not to offend somebody. And if people can't get that, then don't go to a fucking comedy show.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it's about. And I do a lot of characters, so I might do like a Jewish grandmother and I'm Jewish and people will go, I'm like, I'm allowed to do this.
Right. Yeah.
I'm making fun of my own people.
Exactly.
Just take it easy. It's okay. Like they just get and I do this whole thing where I do a character of a big black woman and an Asian woman and all this stuff. And then I make fun of people in the audience. Like I'm like, oh my God, am I allowed to laugh? Are the black people laughing? Is everything okay? I just don't know what to do. And then I end it with, because I'm a racist. Because it's really the people who are
the absurdity.
The racists, I feel for sure, that are like so freaked out and looking around to make sure it's okay to laugh.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have a great story, and it's a long story, but I'm going to tell you in the shortest possible way. But I did a Catholic college 6 times, Siena College, upstate New York, and I was allowed to say literally anything I wanted. I did all of their freshman orientations one summer.
That's awesome.
And all these friars and priests and people would come to the show and they would die laughing. And I literally was so dirty. They wanted me to be. And then they asked me to do another event. It was a fundraiser. and I was outside, and there was like no lighting. It was freezing out. It was just a horrible setup, and there were all these people, doing a walk around me. I mean, it was like a horrible comedy event to raise money for cancer. And I went up on stage and I said, it's so cold out, Jesus Christ. And some woman started yelling out, she's taking the Lord's name in vain. And I didn't even know what I said.
It was probably
I didn't
Pete's
realize
mother.
I said Jesus Christ.
It was probably Pete's mother.
Like, excuse me? Right. And she was screaming, you took the Lord's name in vain. How dare you? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't even tell a joke yet. And then the kids started laughing. They all knew me. And she literally started, it sounds like I'm making this up, but she literally started yelling out, she's making the devil come out of people. Look at her. Look at this horrible woman. And the next thing I knew, the person who booked me, the student, came up to the stage. I bent down in front of everybody, and he said, Jessica, we need you to leave the campus immediately.
Oh, my gosh.
And I said, what? I still didn't even know what was going on. And he goes, this woman who's upset and screaming is one of our biggest donors, and she's very upset with what you said. And I'm like, what did I say? I don't even know what I said. And he's like, I'm sorry, you have to leave. And we called security, and I look over and there's 2 security guards standing next to the stage. It was unbelievable.
Oh, wow.
And they insisted on walking me to my car.
You incited a religious frenzy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Wow. So did they ever apologize to you?
No, it took like 6 months to get paid, and the students felt horrible. But I had like a very strong relationship with a lot of them, through email and all kinds of stuff. So they were very upset that happened. But, it's all because of money. I mean, look what's going on now in the world.
Yeah,
it's just
very true. Very true.
Amazing.
Yeah, good point. I mean, it's so disgusting. I was so upset, about Stephen Colbert's the backlash about what he just said.
I didn't get that at all.
And people were saying it was homophobic, and I'm like, stop trying to detract away from what he was trying to say.
Yeah,
and stop trying to make it
First
something
of all,
that
for
it's
them
not.
to pretend like they care that it was homophobic is the funniest part to me,
right?
Because
exactly.
a lot of them are the most homophobic people on earth. So now all of a sudden they care about homophobia and what a comic is saying about, it wasn't even homophobic.
No, they're voting to take away our rights.
Person on earth. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. So Jessica, when you were telling the story about the Catholic high school, I'm not even sure Kevin knows the story. So and this is why I have the utmost respect for what you do. It is a difficult job, right? I had a 3-show comedy career when I was in college. I didn't know that. Somebody kind of dared me to go on stage and do improv night and open mic night, and then I got this manager picked me up. So my whole routine was all about gay shit, right? That's all you know. Botched blowjobs and and the Macarena and stuff. And
timely, David.
This guy got me a gig, and I showed up. I had no idea where I was going. When I tell you, it was like the countryest of country sports bars. Nice. And I only had one set. I didn't have anything else to, so I got up there. I'm doing my whole spiel, and my sister, the poor thing's in the back, doing the neck cut thing, stop. Get the hell out of here. Yeah. And so I just looked for an exit, and I just ran out the door. So I never went back on stage ever again. I just couldn't do it. I was too horrified. This is way back in the late 80s, right?
It's not easy. I mean, it's not. But after doing it for a while, the performing is, believe it or not, the easiest part. It's the business part of it and the traveling and everything else that gets very hard.
I'll bet. How often are you on the road? I mean, you're pretty busy. I mean, I saw on your website, jessicakirson.com, that you have a pretty active schedule.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of it I don't put up there. Like I have, 3 shows in New York City tonight and 4 last night, and I don't put those up because those are 15-minute spots, and I just am trying out new material. But I get up on stage a lot, and I was on the road a bunch, and now I'm home more. But Saturday I go away for a one-night thing in Florida, so it's it really depends on the time of the year and the month. But I am on the road a lot.
Please don't ever give up your cookie bit. That is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Which one? Where my cookie is gone?
Yes.
I asked someone for, yeah.
So good.
Well, that was about when I was 100 pounds heavier and was in New York on the street, and the homeless guy would always ask me for food. And I'm like, do I look like I have leftovers? And I'm like, There's a skinny bitch on the other side of the street. She has cookies. Mine are gone. My cookie's gone.
That is so
gone.
So I was watching on your YouTube channel, the Jessica K Show. I was watching the little bit you have right now, the current video where you're at the mall food court, and the little ladies like got the little dumplings or whatever. That is probably the funny thing I've seen all week. Is hilarious. Have you seen it, Kevin?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious. I've always wanted to do that too.
I
grab
love
the whole
that
tray
kind
of
of
food.
stuff.
Oh my
I
gosh.
just love that hidden camera, taking stuff away and walking, just seeing people's reactions. I went up to someone serving samples of food and took the whole tray and walked away. And
we've all wanted to do it, right? So
she freaked out. Yeah.
Love it.
That's what I mean, and you're certainly a professional, but what we try to do on this is to try to take how crazy the world is and make it a little saner for people, basically by saying, we all have these weird thoughts. Like I shared in a previous episode that most of my childhood was me fearing that I was going to be abducted by aliens. I was convinced if it was going to happen to anybody, it was me, because I'm a perfect specimen.
There's still time though, Kevin.
Yeah, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. But we
It would be nice to be probed.
Exactly.
If they would just come probe me and then leave me alone.
Just to be chosen, just to be nominated as an honor, really.
You're so competitive. Oh my God, Kevin.
But it's especially comedians. I just feel like more than ever, you guys are bringing a light to the world that is so necessary now because, just pop on the TV. It's super fun.
I know.
I also love
watch it a lot just because I like to torture myself. It's insane.
Yeah.
But I do.
It's probably
try
great
to take a break from watching the news sometimes because it's just too much.
Yeah.
Do you try to stay non-political in your shows? We're trying to do that on this as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I talk about stuff a lot. In like, if you get my comedy and you're a progressive thinker, or whatever, you'll understand certain things I say. But, I don't bring up politicians' names. It makes it a lot harder. People get tense and it's very divided.
Yeah. And it's hard not to bring politics into the conversation. I bite my tongue every single episode we have, Kevin.
Oh, of course.
Because there's so much low-hanging fruit there, but yeah. So, Jessica, I wanted to...
I do talk about stuff in a way that is talking about it without talking about people or politics. Does that make sense to you?
It's social issues and progressive
for example,
thinking.
I say my wife and I had a baby, and of course, because we're gay parents, we were trying to make her gay, because that's what all gay parents do, because it's an easier life. So we've been taking her to a lot of softball games. We bought her a tool belt, and we named her Ellen. Like that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
It's more, and I talk, I say this is what Pence thinks, and he's right. All gay people want to make their kids gay. That's,
correct.
Absolutely right. So
all gay
like
people,
kind of stuff,
gay people came from gay parents, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
The logic there is brilliant. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I wanted to talk about your podcast. It's called Fat Pig. Is that right?
Yes. I have a podcast called Fat Pig with my friend Frank Liotti, who is also a comedian and actor. And it's really, we've done 20 episodes and we've had people on like Alex Garnacelli and Edie Falco and Randy Rainbow, a lot of people. We do a lot of them alone. My mom's been on a couple of times. She's a therapist. And it's about just like excess. A lot of it's about food and funny stories about binging and being, food addicts. But a lot of it is just about just always wanting more. Mm-hmm. Which a lot of people can relate to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Just as a side note, your mother is a complete stitch. She is so funny. She sounds so lovely. I just put up a video of she and I today of me walking her into her building from the emergency room.
Gotta see that.
Yeah. She's okay. She called me yesterday. I had 4 shows last night, and she called me and she's like, I just want to let you know I'm in the emergency room. I don't know what's going on. I said, are you okay? And she said, well, I went to an event and I ate a lot. I really went nuts. I ate a lot of stuff I haven't been eating and I don't know what's going on, but I'm in a lot of pain. I'm like, so you need to fart? Like what? Like they've done all these tests and everything came out normal, but I think she's just filled with gas.
The most expensive fart, right? Yeah.
We're Jewish, so when there's a lot of great food that's free, we just sometimes really can't control ourselves.
What's Kevin's excuse then?
Oh, it's true. I know. I feel like I was a Jew at heart. Absolutely. I date one.
You
now,
probably, yeah. You probably are.
I do, but that is so great. Yeah, and farts are real. The gas pain is a real struggle, people.
Absolutely.
It is.
Oh yeah. Trust me, I'm a pharmacist by trade, and people would come in all the time with all these stomach issues and pain and being like, I think I have appendicitis, and I would be like, here's some Gas X, why don't you just give it a day? And one time it was appendicitis, but that's another story.
Where were you 20 years ago when you did that, Kevin? Oh
I
my
know.
gosh, so many stomach issues.
You got to do the downward facing dog, like that's literally.
I know, it does help.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's also the drawing they do on the enema box too.
Oh, I was gonna say it's my Friday night ritual.
Oh God.
So Jessica, your mother sounds very similar to my mom. My mom called me. This is probably a month ago, Kevin, and she's like, "Hey, honey, just want to call to see how you're doing. Oh, by the way, I have melanoma. Just nothing important. Just give me a call." I was like, "What?" Yeah, she unfortunately got diagnosed with eye cancer. The craziest thing. Who even knew? But,
no.
She's totally fine.
Yeah,
she's
she's
totally
amazing.
fine. Yeah, I mean, 2-time breast cancer survivor. Kevin's mom,
Wow.
5-time breast cancer survivor. So we have some tough parents. So totally get that.
That is so amazing. Yeah, my mom's an incredible person. She is the most she's a therapist, a Reiki master. She just constantly positive and everything's fine and great. So
love it.
She's awesome to be around. I mean, she complains constantly about food. But we went to lunch the other day and it's gotten so bad. She was like, I don't like this chicken salad. I'm like, it didn't even come yet. So
oh my God, I am the worst eater. I eat the same shit every day. Bland chicken.
What do you eat every day?
Just chicken.
Chicken. I eat chicken every day.
Oh my God.
Yeah, me too.
I'm so done with the chicken thing. And how do you feel about Chick-fil-A? I honestly just, I think you had a little bit on this too on your YouTube channel. I want the fried chicken.
It's the most delicious bigotry I've ever had.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just kind of play naive and innocent and go into the drive-thru and get my fried chicken. But I'm sorry, but
they're probably hoping if you eat enough of it, you'll be straight.
Probably.
That's how dumb they are. They think if you eat chicken sandwiches, you'll want vagina.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep trying that.
Oh my!
Yeah, you got to go through it 20 times a day and just hope something changes.
Oh my gosh! But
well, we can't thank you enough for doing this, and we want to make sure people can find your stuff. So it's jessicakirson.com. Am I saying it right? It's Kirson, not Kirson, right?
Yes,
Kirson.
You are.
Kirson.
A lot of people say Kirson. It's Kirson.
Yeah, Kirson.
And then you have the Fat Pig podcast, which they can check out after listening to this one, hopefully.
Absolutely. And the Jessica K Show on YouTube.
Yes. The videos in the car with you and Delilah. I think when you listen to Delilah, it's one of those Christian radio things.
Oh yeah, I put on those Christian stations a lot and just don't. Those are my videos with no words.
Just the reactions.
Sometimes I speak in them, but
I don't know how you don't pull a face muscle with what you say.
The facial expressions are priceless. Love it.
My face is the only thin part of my body because it's the only thing I exercise.
You're a riot, but thank you again for just taking the time to do this, and I hope people get a chance to see you in person because I literally have never laughed so hard. So I hope to see you again.
I love you so much. That means a lot to me. I mean it. I'm glad that you laugh.
Yes,
it's so important, and I so appreciate you guys having me on.
Of course,
and we got to hang out soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jessica.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Take care.
Have a good night. Yep. Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.